Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think the scene where Stevie decides to stay in the dream world, um, it was a really controversial scene because it's a really pretty dramatic decision for a character to make, and it's also like a bad decision for a character to make.
Brittany Murphy from Muses of Media. Hi, Alex. How are you?
Hi, Brittany, man, I love your toys, the X-Men toys, oh man, so cool. And you got a
Thank
Baloney Tony back there.
Exactly. I mean, Wolverine's a little chaotic, so is he. So I felt like,
Yeah,
they fit well together.
awesome.
So just get right into it. Speaking of Baloney Tony, he is so cool, so hilarious. I was just wondering, what was kind of the origin story in his creation of the character?
Yeah, so there was two. I mean, first of all, narratively, it was actually my co-director Eric Benson who he knew that we needed a dream guide in the film. And he thought it would be really funny if the dream guide had it in for our main character. So he was like, "What if Gandalf had it in for Frodo? Like, wouldn't that be funny?" And we all thought it was just a hilarious idea. So that's sort of where the idea of this like almost unreliable guide came from. And then where the stuff, the fact that he's a stuffy and he's gross and he like has baloney, he's stuffed with baloney, that came from our own stuffies from when we were kids. So when I was young, me and my brother, we had these matching Santa bears, which was like they're like these polar bears, stuffies with Santa hats, and they're pure white because they were polar bears. And my brother, one night, he had a bloody nose and he like blood stained the rear end of his bear, so it's like really gross and disgusting, and you can imagine what it looked like. So I, being the older brother, I tortured him and I nicknamed it Butthole Bear, and he was so upset and so angry, but he still like loved that stuff. Every day he would still sleep with it. He'd carry it around with him everywhere. And I thought there was something so beautiful about that. Like thematically, that's what Stevie needs to learn in this film is that she needs to embrace the messiness of life. And so thematically, it made sense for us to make a stuffed animal that is really gross and disgusting. And then the baloney pocket, Eric Benson, when he was a kid, he had a My Pet Monster. And on the side, I guess the seam had sort of popped and he had this little opening. And he was one of four kids. And so all of his siblings, his brothers and sisters, would always steal his toys and his snacks. And so to hide his favorite toys and his snacks, he would put them inside the pocket. And that's where the idea of a baloney pocket came from.
Amazing. So throughout in your dreams, there are so many moments that really hit you like in the feels. Like myself watching it, I'm sure any kids watching it will all feel that same kind of thing. So I was just wondering for you, what impacted you most, or was there a particular scene in the film when you were directing and writing it that was most impactful for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think the scene where Stevie decides to stay in the dream world, um, it was a really controversial scene because it's a really pretty dramatic decision for a character to make, and it's also like a bad decision for a character to make. But I have felt that in my own life, like when sometimes life is just not going your way, and it feels, that you just don't want to wake up. You just want to stay in bed, and you just want to like hide away from the world. And I felt that growing up, so the film is so personal. It's like my parents almost split when I was a kid, and I remember that feeling of just not wanting to wake up to, the challenges and the messiness of life. So that is probably one of the scenes that sort of resonates with me the most. Yeah.
And my final question for you is obviously you've been working in animation for a long time, and I know that this movie in your dreams is very personal to you. So, was there a particular movie, animated or even otherwise, growing up that really resonated with you and, maybe even influenced your work in animation throughout your career?
Yeah, I mean, I would say there's a couple. I mean, I don't know if you've seen Grave of the Fireflies.
Mm.
That film is so emotionally devastating, and it's about these two siblings just trying to survive the repercussions of the war of World War II. And man, I saw that as a kid, and I was just so moved by it. And that there's something about that sibling relationship that was so special, and I tried to capture some of that sibling dynamic in our film. Obviously, it's very different. That's like a drama and a tragedy, and ours is a comedy. But there's something about the uniqueness of that sibling relationship that really stuck with me. The other film is Finding Nemo. Every time I watch that film, I just cry like a little baby. I just find it so inspiring when Marlin, finally believes in Nemo and starts telling him, "Yes, you can do this." And they flip the boat over, and I mean, I'm just talking about it. I'm already getting like teary-eyed, and it's so moving, that scene.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope everyone watches the movie when it drops on Netflix.
Oh, thanks. It's so great to talk to you.
Nice talking to you too. Thank you.